Everyone, this is right. Meeting of April 12th, 2023. Our first order of business is the approval of the previous meeting minutes.
Motion that we approve the previous meeting.
Second, the motion to approve the schedule. All in favor? Motion passed. Next is appointing property digestion.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We have a lot to get to today. If you turn to page 3, you see Brian Prophet. Brian Prophet had a boat that he sold in 2016 to this Converse, and Converse is in Florida. So Mr. Prophet came in here in 2018 to let us know that he sold his boat. However, we didn't remove him from that in 2018, and he was trying to see he this year, 2022, 2021, and 2020, which is page 3, 4, and 5. And he wanted the board to entertain the thought of him, if us going back to 2017 to remove the vote, since he came in 2018 or 2018, whichever one, to go back further than what he could only go back to. So it would be on the board to decide if they want to go. Our recommendation is to not. And I might should have checked to see if back came up. And we did, and we didn't get it the 19. He had the night. He should come back.
Is there any precedence of the board giving more than 3 years prior for a release?
This board, I don't know. I'm done with it. They're not done with it. You're good. That's all I had. Yes, sir. Yes, you actually okay.
You the motion to deny. That we can pass first year.
I'd like to make a motion that set the changes for this particular entity for 2020, 2021, and 2022 only.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you. So,
Good morning.
good morning.
Thank you. I'm not gonna be as quick as you two. Fortunately, sorry about that. All right, I have quite a few to get through today, a whole lot. Okay, we're gonna start on page 6. And that is Lamb Faith Golf. This is the St. Andrews Country Club down in the south of Douglas County. And it comprises of a total of 10 parcels. I'm trying to see how much they total over as far as acreage is concerned, but it's a golf course of 10 acres, or 10 parcels. And they purchased this parcel back in 2020 for $425,000. You know, with a sale, you get your purchase price the following year. So 2021, they're supposed to get their purchase price. But it turns out that there was some legal description in their deed that was incorrect. It only transferred about 3 of the parcels, and we're waiting on them to get legal description corrected. And they finally got it corrected. And then several years later, it's finally corrected. So now we're going to transfer the parcels over. But what this is going to do is for 2021, we're going to have to give them that purchase price of $425,000. And then the total value that we had on the property, and I got some math for you here, So you don't have to go through all the numbers, Martin. I got them ready for you right here. And the 2021 value total for all 10 parcels was 2.2,370,000. I said that wrong. 2,237,043. And we have to bring that value down to 425 for 2021. And we knew that, but we were just waiting on the legal description to come. There was a 2020 appeal on the values, so we ended up getting it settled for 2020. But we had to go back to 2021 and give them his purchase price, and we had to allocate those values out over those 10 months. And bring it down to 425,000. We're gonna go over the numbers here in a minute. For 2022, we put them back to their values, but they do have a current appeal on 7 of those parcels right now. That is going to be a re-infused. I think it's going to be a re-infused. So we're battling the 22 now. Starting on page 6, 1 through 7. That's the first 7 for 2022. We just corrected the ownership. We didn't have to change the value for 2022. On page 8, you have the
Number 5 looks like it shows a nice change. 22,000.
It should not. Thank you. Thanks for seeing that. That was currently in, did you go up on the value on that one? You did? Okay, I'll get you it. And that was in BOE anyway. Okay, thanks. On page 8, number 11, 12, and 13 are the other 3, so that's a total of 10 in 2022. These 3 on page 8 had a nominal value of $250 a piece, and then the other one has a nominal value of $9. They didn't appeal those values, by the way. Yes. Okay, for 2021, where we are lowering their values, we're going to go to page 10 and page 11. On page 10, on the first parcel, parcel 8, we have a value for 2021 that was $303,100, and we reduced that to $62,390. On number 2, parcel 138, $359,600, reduced to $72,250. On parcel 3, number 66, $259,754, reduced to $51,000. And on number 4, parcel 67, was $467,300, and then reduced it down to $85,000. On page 11, number 7 and 8, and then number 7 and 8 are $250. We didn't change that. Number 9, parcel 51, we changed 9,000 down to $300. And number 10, which is parcel 114, I believe this is the one with the clubhouse on it. We went from $349,520 to $67,980. Number 11, parcel 245, we went from $108,200 to $12,520. And number 12, parcel 246, we went from $380,069 to $72,000. All of those should add up to $420,000. It took a while to get that going. We had to go back and change the few numbers on. We didn't change the 250, but we did get it down to $425,000.
So, I guess in my mind, I'm just looking at the scenario. Did they purchase this property for 15-20% of its value?
It was a distress sale, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if you all been down to St. Andrews Country Club in a while and seen what it's looking like. I've been down there in the past year, and I was like, whoa. Like, it just really looked like it was abandoned. I don't know what it was. It is, it's trying to come back, so that's why we have the appeal for 2022 right now, trying to get the values up a little bit more, get the fight.
I have another question on this. Have you discussed this with legal counsel and the date of the sale?
Trust me,
Because I would think it would be their responsibility to handle all the deed stuff and all of that.
they did a corrected deed on the legal. The legal description only conveyed, I think, 3 of them at the time properly, but they thought they were conveying 10. They came back with the corrected deed. Looked at the corrected deed and it did convey all 10, so it goes back to the original deed. Is that correct, Meredith?
Correct. This will all be run by legal counsel, because I'm like,
Yeah.
this should be a game that other people could play. But I said, well, you know what? We don't really we want to keep this sale price 5 years later because we made a mistake in our legal stuff.
But the sales price is only for the year of the sale.
Right.
So it's only 1 year.
Well, I guess the truth of the matter is the value been very low for several years anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Well, let me ask this question. What's the likelihood that we will be able to maintain the 2.1 for 2022?
Not likely. I have a feeling that the DOE is going to probably lower it quite a bit. They've already given us an offer on a lot lower at 500 something. So we denied that offer and we're going to DOE right now to see what the DOE is going to do on it. Joey says he had some good comps on some other golf courses. So we're going to fight it in DOE and see what DOE does, and whatever the results of that, we'll bring it to you, and then we'll see how much further we're going to go on it.
Are they playing golf on it again? Yeah, I think they're playing golf. They're easy to golf now.
Portland is not abandoned or shut down.
I just wanted to bring those 10 to your attention. I knew that was going to take an explanation there. Any more questions? Look, you ready to go on the golf course. Okay. Okay, page 7. Here is a deed that was missed. It was part of 3 parcels on this particular sale, and towards one of the parcels was missed. And this was sold through the Development Authority of the City of Douglasville, and we're just changing the title over. No change in value on this. It's a little strip of land. No change in value on this parcel. We're changing it for 2022 on page 10 for 2021. You'll see it at the bottom, number 5. And page 12, we only look on page 12. For 3 years, we're going back. We're just correcting the ownership. On page 8, and starting at number 14. We have an ownership correction for the year 2022, and that ownership correction did remove the homestead. They were not one that had the homestead on the property. So we're just correcting the ownership and removing the homestead on that part. So no change in the value. On number 15, it was just a misdeed for that for this year, 2022, and for 2021. Here we have that up. Okay. And it's number 13 on page 11. And it should be actually Alicia Kennedy. Alicia Kennedy. That's those. Okay, on number 16, we removed the homestead because people were doing these quick claim deeds. They're fooling around with those, and they went back and forth on them, but the original owner that actually applied for the homestead was on all the deeds the whole time. So we had removed it on one, but we should not have removed it, so we're going to place it back for 2022. It's what you do. Don't in the office about that. On page 9, It's an ownership correction of 47 parcels in Mirror Lake. And to save some trees, I put it all in one spreadsheet. So we can all see that. They're all vacant lots at value at $30,000. There is no change in the value. We're just correcting the ownership for 2022 so that they can go ahead and build houses on these lots and sell it to people, get some more value. I just wanted to save them some trees there. Okay. And that covers all of the ownership and homestead correction. Okay.
Virginia motion to approve library real property digest change and correction here.
A motion that we approve the, property, administrative changes and everything. Second.
Motion second, all of those three.
Now we're going to talk about the results of some DOE hearings. Had quite a bit of DOE hearing residential, and it will start with March the 30th. We had some significant changes on a few of these properties. The very first significant change was on parcel 192-25191. They came in with the fee appraisal, and now the board tends to go with fee appraisal every time. I don't think they submitted the fee appraisal to us ahead of time, and they came to them. That reduced about 70% value. And I believe that's still above the prior year value. On parcel 145-259, the home was in very poor condition. They had some pictures. I brought some people with some pictures, and they reduced the value based on the condition of the home. I'll take a look at pictures of those. We have something for that. And we don't recommend going any further with that. The next significant change is on parcel 120-25-5. The owner stated that there was over 2 acres of surface rock. So the board reduced their value. I think I even have some pictures of that one. So we had pictures of it. There were some notes about it in here. Soil. We had soil. Not sure if it's how close it is. I did see some pictures of that. He has resurfaced some of the land with the surface rock on it that was presented to the board. I don't know if anything official, like if they had an engineer or someone that told, but they brought it in with some surface rock. And we do that. We do agree with that. We don't want to go any further. Yes. Okay. The next change at 11.3% in parcel 127-25224. That one was based on market sales and some uniformity, less than 20%. We don't recommend going any further on that one. On April the 4th, the very first one was 22.2% change in value based on the market and uniformity in that particular subdivision. Older, but we don't want to go any further on that. We don't recommend it. We're okay with the value of 285. On parcel 923-18252, 19.6% was also based on market sales and uniformity in that particular neighborhood, and we do not recommend going any further on that one either. It's over in Chestnut Mall. On parcel 435-18230, this is one where he complained about the adjacent cattle horse farm, the smell, runoff.
When it smelled.
He said, smell, I had pictures of the smell. But he gave a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
He had pictures of the guys, the goats and animals and water issues. He brought me watch. I'll make sure we get find the information. Yeah, and it was only 10.7% that, but you don't recommend going further on that one.
Question on that, though.
Mhm.
The smell and those kind of issues, were they new or were they there all the time? And
That I'm not sure of. I don't know if he bought the house and then they started putting the horses and cattle and things like that back there. I believe the appraiser told me that he called the county on them, but they said that there was nothing they could do about it, or they were not going to do it. I don't know if they were saying that they were going to just let the animals stay until they passed and not allow them to put any more. I'm not quite sure. I think the person probably start putting down that particular property. It's a big acreage back behind this property. So we brought a lot of stuff out, as you can see in the photos. They adjusted only 10.6%. Parcel 539-18-243, the owner stated that he did some repairs and the board lords valued some of that. We have some two other market sale and uniformity based rulings on the next two parcels. And I wanted to note on the no change on the one that I had SC by parcels 545-18-226 and 647-18-222. The owners already filed both of those to Superior Court. That's why I put the SC on. We got no change in the GOE hearing. One of the hearings, he had nothing. He said he didn't have it. But he's going to Superior Court on that one. And the other one he spoke about, the topo of the job of the board. On April 5th, we were going along very well on that day. No changes, even with everybody showing up on those until we got about halfway through. And we have a vacant, vacant is the house, where on parcel 2, 23, 25, 65, they put it back to the prior year value. Not even sure why they put it back to the prior year value on that one. Sometimes we find that the board, I think that people will show up on this one, that they think that we go up too much a percentage on some of the values, and they went back to the prior year value. I just have no reason why they did that. I still do not, I don't want to, since it wasn't that much, $25,000. About 25, yeah. I don't recommend going further. I did look at the pictures of the house, it was an old house. I don't want you to see that. I don't recommend going. We have a change with the market on parcel 42-3526 at 14.9%. That one was a tough one as far as the sales and uniformity was going. Don't recommend going any further with that. The next two were vacant lots over in Mirror Lake on Arbor Drive, and they put both of those back to the prior year vacant lot value of $10,000. We had the original value at $26,000. I believe Lynn, you reduced it to $20,000, and the board reduced it further to $10,000. And we're going to talk about those two, but mark those two right there. Go through all of them. Go back to them. Okay. On the next one, it was a nominal value of 5.3% due to the topo and the drainage issues on that particular lot. On parcel 58-1517, they put it back to the original notice value because they said they did not have the finished basement. We sent the notice value out for $452,000. Appraiser went out there, took a look at the house, said that they saw some finished basement, and the owner was adamant that they did not have any basement finished. They agreed with them on the DOE and put it back to the notice value of $452. And we're okay with that value. That's what we originally told them. Yeah, when they filed the appeal, we actually. So it's going back to the original notice value, which we did. The next one is a vacant lot, parcel 77252. Leah, I think you originally reduced this value on this one. I believe it was 50-something thousand. I think I did.
Yes.
And we reduced it to 36,000.
Yes.
500, and the board put it all the way back to 3,000 the prior year. Put a mark next to that one. We're gonna talk about that one.
Yeah. Okay.
The next one was reduced 8.3% based on market sales and uniformity also over there in the subdivision. Okay, on April the 6th, the very first one, the vacant lot over on Granada Way, parcel 251517. They put it back to they didn't really put it back all the way to the prior year value, but based on the uniformity of some vacant lots in the area, they reduced it 58.9%. And I want you to put a mark next to that one also. Coming down to parcel 753573, a vacant lot in Ansbury Park, a reduction of 60.9%. They put it back to the prior year vacant lot values. Put a mark next to that one. And the next parcel, 382530, the board, the owner stated that the home needed several repairs, each for the value of 0.3%. Don't recommend going with that one. The next one, we have a townhouse on parcel 5015850. And based on market sales and uniformity in that particular area, which I believe is right across the street from us, reduced the value to the $84,200. We don't recommend going any further than that. The next one is parcel 831556. Sure, I have my eyes on here. There's a reduce. Did I do that right? Okay, 64. Okay, we're on the right one. Okay, that was reduced 15.5% based on market sales and uniformity. Don't recommend going any further than that one. The next one is 851556 over in Brookmont. A reduction of 5% in value based on market and uniformity. The next one is also in Brookmont subdivision, parcel 155, a reduction of 9.2% based on the market sales and uniformity. Don't recommend going any further on either of those. Coming down to the one in Ashworth subdivision, parcel 8715104, a reduction of 12.7%. Don't recommend going to that one. And the bottom one in Ashland at Chapel Hills, parcel 7515246, a reduction of 80.3% based on market sales and uniformity, and we don't recommend going any further. But all 5 of those that I asked you to mark were vacant lots. Where they put all the vacant lot values on this particular day back to their prior value, except for the one on Green Light Way. We're going to recommend taking all of these further here before. Lynn has volunteered to handle all of these vacant lot values on this computer level, and we recommend going to see what we get out of these particular lots.
Here's what you will, when they get lost.
You got them back up. We did. We got them back up. We sure did. So we're going to recommend taking these 5 further to the field report. That's all I have for our residential hearing result.
I didn't feel the motion to approve all these changes and corrections they've noted, including the 5 we mentioned before the month here.
Which that we approve the residential changes as noted, but the 5 moving forward to Superior Court as noted by staff. I see.
First motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and bring property back. It's a big enough road.
I'm gonna get the rest of that there.
It's- Okay, the first two were Superior Court settlement agreements. And you can see the first one, parcel 1615C5, was Gumbo Restaurant. The BOE accepted to 650, they agreed to 850. That's a 30.8% increase from the BOE value, so we're good on that one. And the next one is parcel 1602556, the shopping center and a 9 acre to Highway 5 and 20. And that's where the Joann's fabric store and all that is. Again, that one was appealed from a BOE value of 4.97550, and was agreed upon 5,750 or 17.2%. Pretty good on that one. And the third one is just the BOE settlement, for the BOE, for 649,182.21, 2 buildings and 1.97 acres on industrial access, just an industrial warehouse. And our value was not BOE value, this was our original value, was 2,228, and we settled agreed with 2,075 for 5.8 change. And that's based on, he submitted some more expenses on the, with his rental rolls to me the other day, so I was gonna look that up and make adjustment based on that. That's good work.
Yeah.
Other than motion to approve these items. First off. Motion to set the session. On this. Right, and so. If we have some fewer standards.
Surveys that was clear at early.
Yeah.
Got, 13 Cougar status recommendations. The first one is parcel 211527. And that one was a house in 48 acres. I'm gonna recommend a denial on that one. The application is incomplete. We did not have the second page filled out on that one. Line 2, 122515. And 122521 and 122544. This person's coming in for, that's actually a renewal. He was under the timber, but he would like all 3 to go under wildlife. This is the second term. And this will be filed as one. Line 5, 282522. House at 13.90 acres, 13.30, I'm sorry, Pamela Drive. This was just a continuation of the owner of record. Line 6 is 121,251. That one goes in line with the second one, 121,256. Though that was a split, and that was a continuation as a result of the split. Line 8, 151,254. That was still Douglas Horn LLC, renewal under timber, second term, recommend approval for that one. 151,258, this is the same owner. This would be a separate, covenant, it will not be one, so it's, also timber, second term. Line 10, 154,222. This is a renewal, it's a house that's 61 acres. Third term approval on this one. And 215,251, Douglasville, 226 from investment. Vacant 226 acres, recommend approval for this one under the timber for second term. And line 12, 145,3535. This was an application that was submitted, but however, this one did not have a notary stamp on it. So I recommend an approval on that as well. Line 13, 149,352. It's renewal, house no value to 49.67 acres. Recommend approval, second term on that. Okay.
And on the incomplete applications, is there any kind of limitation as to when they can make those corrections?
I don't know, but, they can come back at a later date in the appeal process and resubmit. But as far as, the deadline goes for this first time application, it's passed and it was not submitted in a proper order, so it would be denied this time, but they do have another opportunity later in the year.
And would that affect this ruling here, or would that just be going forward?
Going forward.
Okay.
It would actually, it could be for this year approval, same thing, but at this time it's a denial based on the documentation that was submitted. But if new documentation is submitted later in the year, then it would be also approved for this year.
So, do they have like 30 days, 45 days?
Well, during the appeal process, you can file an application in conjunction with an appeal or in lieu of an appeal, so that's the opportunity to do so.
Just so long as we make sure that they're clear on that, they have that opportunity. And we get them in a reasonable fashion, we give them notification that, hey, we did not, you got to do all the application. You know,
I'll explain all that.
They'll get,
Yeah, they'll get a letter, it'll be clear in the letter.
what happened?
clear.
Then my other question, will be 2, 3, and 4, one day, West Timber versus Wildlife.
2, 3, and 4. He's been under a first term. He's had a cut twice, he tells me, since he was 16 years old. And he's not wanting to do a timber harvest any longer. He just wants it to be a wildlife natural habitat. He does have a pond on the property. It's stocked. Of course, there's animals present on the property. I know of, there's deer, but what roams around Georgia. He's got big hives. He does sell honey. So he is doing others. But he wouldn't qualify with each one of them individually, but as a whole, he does qualify.
I'll entertain a motion to approve these listed recommendations as noted.
Big motion. Big motion, we approve the approval statuses and recommendation of this.
Motion and second, we discussion. All in favor, aye. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Unless we have any continued business on next, please.
Okay, good morning. I just want to praise the board of what's happening we're looking to get some temporary assistance for technologies with the analytical part of getting the digest ready. We do not have proposal was a written proposal that they did, a proposal, but I had to push back and they were doing a new one for some temporary solution. So I'm awaiting that. Hopefully we'll get it in today so I can present it to this board as well as the board of commissioners because I'm in recent. And I've also reached out to Leanne with coming in for 2 to 3 months to assist us with getting some sales validation done and whatever area she can help. So I'm looking to do a temporary contract with her as well. But we are behind with the sales and we need to catch up. So, and we did receive one application that seems to be a qualified client. So we're looking at that option as well too. But time is of the essence, so that we're working simultaneously. And as you can see from some of the commercial results, we are working the settlement agreements with some along with council, some with just our commercial operators, but those settlements that we push to continue with the Superior Court, we are working with them and we're getting favorable results so far. And we are also looking at the code for redesign in the front. We have had some complaints from staff with clients coming in and community staff offices, these offices along there. And we're trying to get a total sterile area for employees. So we're looking at blocking off the front, so it's just the reception and they won't have access to staff. So I'm getting a quote on that because we need to protect our staff.
I didn't think I'd been bothered with that, Kenny.
Yes, it happened.
Yeah.
And we are looking at updating and to continually update our website for the appraisal department. It has been left behind, so we're actively looking at that right now. And one of the questions standing after doing some comparisons with other counties, the board of assessor members are they do have photographs of the members and their names, and some people have a little Bible. So we're looking at, I already told them it would be okay if we could just have photographs of each member and just the names, but if it's okay with the board, we can add a little bio space for me, that we would like to do that too. So we can continuous improvement. These are things that we can do. So with the permission of the board, we want to add some pictures, and if it's okay, if we get a bio from each we could add that to what the board can see. That's a question, and from my perspective, we are updating the website and we will add the names of the board members and at least a photo of them.
Yeah. So long as I work, so long as I'm where my golf at? But a short bio that doesn't really run any ID theft risk or anything, it would be okay with me. And picture me. And I really like the idea of partitioning off the reception area. I'm talking about that. I never thought about that, but both reception areas are like that. You walk in,
It's just reception.
it's just reception. That's it.
Does any funds we can give from like some other bucket to the network, like from security or some other funds that the county has? Because I would think that's like a really
Using infrastructure funds that we may
I think there are a lot of areas that Douglas County on the board can restructure, especially with budget. But right now, it's departmentalized and it's the department, and it's I don't know if you see the news when you, yeah. So it's department budget. I need to pay for car repairs, you know. So it's a lot, but right now it's so I'm looking at it from my budget. So I would need to get an appraisal and look it for my budget. But I will take that into consideration and I'm looking at I can speak with our property maintenance and right now it's fine.
You put a week to help with that, you know.
Yeah,
I think that's a security from a company and from the government standpoint, not the individual departments that come up with.
That's correct. That is correct. I really,
I mean, they didn't charge for the session to build this building. That's it. And build, that's building.
but I think it came from the tax commissioner's budget.
That'd be a good budget for it to come from. Make a motion.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. But we still look at capital expense. So from my perspective, I do have a capital expense budget. So we look at that too, or the cars, etc.
Good idea.
Yeah. So I will look at that definitely. And from any concerns with just adding the photographs on the. So that's it from my desk. Meredith, do you have anything to add?
No, not at this time.
So for the contract for College Technologies, do we need to approve that as part of a board meeting, or is that something that we can do administratively?
And it can be done administratively. Once we do get a proposal, I'm going to send the proposal to the board and with a review and recommendation, and we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it needs to also go to on an agenda for the Board of Commissioners once what it is about. So, yeah.
But you make progress. Good luck with your new application.
I hope we'll have some luck with it. One day at a time.
There's an extra day on schedule in the next meeting. 2 weeks from now, or Wednesday, April 26th. Sounds good.
Everyone else can do it.
I can't do it. I'm not perfect. That's the next day.
I have.
The 28th. Rest of the board can do it.
I'm okay with 28th, if they do okay with that. So,
I am okay with all the board's decision.
I'm okay with Friday, April 28th. Everybody else.
I'm not sure if I have to be out of town that day, but for now, let's go with it.
At this point, we'll do it on Friday, April 20th, is will be our next meeting.
But I can't come to 27th or 26th, so the rest of it. I'll get them for that week.
We'll only take off the first part of your day. Then you can do it on Friday.
Yeah, I've just got to check on that. I may have to be in North Carolina. I'll know that really soon.
Because as since we're working on Friday. That said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion is second, we discuss. All good, aye. Motion passed. The meeting's adjourned.